If I feel like the seat is not quality enough for my ass to sit on it, I'm floating.
You're gonna
Yeah, I'm
squat.
kind of with you there.
I mean, it's like literally like if there's like the only reason I'm not gonna sit on a toilet seat really is if like I can like actually see like something disgusting on it, probably. So, and at that point, I would be just hovering. So yeah, I essentially what I'm trying to tell you is that I would never put toilet paper on the seat because if it's that gross, I'm floating.
Honestly, if that's gross, I'll be going to another store.
Well, yeah, like honestly, yeah. If there's like shit, like that's like literally only like if I like like yeah, that's like yeah, pretty much. You won't find me in that situation.
You guys don't ever do the wipe down?
Fuck
No,
no. It's not my
like
job. It's not my
yeah,
responsibility.
exactly. Like literally the other day, I walked into the fucking bathroom at work, and I was like, oh man, that's gross. Somebody threw a paper towel in the urinal. I'm not cleaning that up because it's not my fucking job, and they don't pay me enough to do that.
All
And
right.
that was literally at work.
So they literally do pay you, but just not for that.
Yeah, exactly. They don't pay me to clean bathrooms.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hard Reset, a Cold North production. I'm your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, we have the gorgeous Ben Reynolds, who apparently hovers.
On dirty toilet above dirty toilet seats if that's my only option. If like I mean like Tim said, if there's an easy other option, I'm looking for that stall first. But
Okay,
if I'm like, oh fuck, I really got to shit, and there's like shit on the toilet seat, I'm hovering.
okay. When you hover, do you reach back and pull your cheeks apart?
I I don't
No.
know that I've ever no. I don't
No.
think I've ever done.
Okay. All
I
right.
think I just get in a nice good squatty position, you know.
Oh man, Squatty Potty. I need to buy one of those. And the
Oh,
tenacious Tim
I've
Miller.
had one.
Why, hello there.
And you can find everything we do all in one spot, including our movies podcast, No Refunds, the podcast that watches bad movies so you don't have to. All of that stuff is in one spot or at coldnorthpro.com. Coming up on episode 97, we're on number 97. We'll be talking about Luigi's Mansion release date, the next God of War game. Ashley Johnson let a little something slip in an interview. And our topic of the show will be diving into our thoughts on the upcoming Avengers game. But before we get to all that, I want to know less about you guys' bathroom habits and more about what you guys have been playing this week. So, Ben, why don't you tell me what you've been playing this week?
So I have finally gotten into Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it was one of those things where Billy hit me up one day while I was working and was like, "Hey, you want to buy Call of Duty Black Ops 4? If we go halves on it, it's only 15." And my response was, "LOL, not really." And then I got home later and Black Ops 4 had downloaded on my Xbox, so Billy had clearly decided to buy it himself.
Oh, wow. So that
So,
LOL not really worked out really well because now you're playing it.
yeah, exactly. Well, the main reason, so because like the people who I play video games with, or multiplayer video games with, are Billy and Nuts, and both of them bought it, and I'm pretty sure that Nuts was the reason that Billy was like thinking about buying it. But so then when I was like, oh well, Billy and Nuts are playing it, then I'll probably play it. And so then, well, and then yeah, so was my buddy Nick. And so yeah, I've had some like decent squads, and we've been doing a little bit of like the domination, whatever they blackout thing. That's kind
Blackout
of
is
cool.
the battle royale. Have you been playing that?
Yeah, but there's domination version of it, so it's 50 on 50, but it's still fucking battle royale.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, or no, it's ground war. Excuse me, ground war, blackout. So it's 50 on 50.
Okay.
Um, It's kind of cool, actually. I'm pretty terrible at it because I have not played very much. Played a lot of prop hunt. Prop hunt is fucking still awesome. Um, yeah, that's a great game, and it's been around in Call of Duty since fucking I guess like Black Ops 2, I think was the first one that had
Prop hunt.
prop hunt. So like it's funny because I remember the first time I saw prop hunt, I was like, oh, somebody ripped off Prey, but really Prey ripped off prop hunt.
Oh, that's interesting. Prey, actually, I'm pretty sure they were coming out with an asymmetrical multiplayer mode where one person plays as a mimic and like hides.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well, that's pretty cool that you're getting into it. I know that you're really into the zombies. So have you gotten a chance to play the zombies mode yet?
Not yet. Billy and Nuts played it once, and they were like, it was really cool. We didn't have any idea what we were doing. And then we haven't had like 4 people who have wanted to play zombies. But I'm sure sometime me, Billy, Nuts, and Steven will get on and beat that shit. And I'll probably complain the entire time, like, guys, we're never gonna fucking make it. Guys, I fucking suck. I'm fucking dying all the time, and I'm just gonna bitch the whole time, and then we're gonna beat it. Because that's usually how it happens.
Well, yeah, I remember I think it was Black Ops 2. I just remember getting yelled at so much when I missed the bus the first time I was playing. Just, you missed the damn bus. I'm sorry. God, Ben.
Well, that's Black Ops 3, and
is that?
No, that was Black Ops 2. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the bus was the worst of zombies, and it did really like. I mean, unless you were really good at zombies, if you missed the bus, you were fucked.
Yeah, unless you were really good at Call of Duty. If you missed the bus, it was over.
Well, I mean, like early rounds, like me and Billy and Nuts could probably all, and Steven could all probably manage ourselves off the bus,
but I would argue that you're pretty good at zombies.
I'm okay. I'm not that good.
Well, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll look into finding a way to get that on Xbox because I would like to play zombies, and I have it on PlayStation. So damn.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Well,
yeah, I have it on PC, so I can't really join you either.
Damn it, Tim. We're just a bunch of fools. All right, Tim.
Until we get Stadia. No, wait.
Yeah.
Funny
Tim,
guy.
tell me what you've been playing this week.
So outside my norm, I've kind of been digging back into Vanquish, for the 360, because I just absolutely fucking love that game, and I just find myself coming back to it every now and then. I'm trying to finish up the achievements at this point, and I'm on the last one, and it's giving me a major headache.
Who made that game?
That was
Shin Megami.
Yep.
Wow. I did not know that. I didn't even know about the existence of this game. Platinum.
Oh my god.
That's why.
Yeah, Platinum Games. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Platinum makes some weird ass shit.
Yeah, but it's always
Are you playing
satisfying.
it on Xbox One or are you playing it on 360?
I actually have to play it on 360 because it's not backwards compatible on Xbox One. They didn't think it was important enough to add to their compatibility list.
Interesting.
Aren't they still working on that though?
They probably are, but it's still not there as far as I know. I haven't looked at it recently, but
yeah, no. Last I checked, they have they stay pretty in touch with the community and like what the community wants to get added. And last I checked, they had just an open poll of like, come tell us what you want added and we'll try and make it a priority. So, yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I would, of course, the dream is for all the games to get added eventually, but that won't happen because of licensing. But Vanquish being a Platinum game, Tim, are you psyched for Astral Chain?
not really. Not in the least, actually.
Okay, tell me why.
I don't know what it is about it. It just feels way too, I guess, anime to me, and it just doesn't. it doesn't look as fun as they're categorizing it to be. I guess it's hard to explain. I don't know. I don't like the art style. I don't really like anything I've seen about it. So,
all right,
it's not my kind of game.
I think it looks super anime too. I'm not excited, but then again, I don't really like Platinum games that much. So,
I mean, I normally don't mind their games. Like they did Zero, and again, that was kind of a crapshoot because of controls, but still,
yeah,
was fun to play.
They did
Zero.
Bayonetta,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did Bayonetta. Didn't they do Wonderful 101?
They might have. I never played that one, so.
They didn't do Ninja Gaiden, did they?
No, I think that was... Jesus, who was that?
Jesus made Ninja Gaiden?
Jesus was a big Ninja fan.
Yep. The original Ninja. Ninja Jesus.
Wonderful 101 was Platinum.
Okay.
Ninja Gaiden was Tecmo.
Oh. Okay.
And then Sega, and then Atari, and then Hudson. It's been passed around a lot, but
Ninja Gaiden's been passed around like past.
Ninja Gaiden is a 2-bit cooker.
But then eventually settled down with Jesus.
Pat's anus doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but it talks like a gentleman.
How you remember?
When it was young.
Let's not talk about young assholes. All right, and personally, I got started on Gears of War 2 this week, and I'm really enjoying that game. And I'm playing through. I'm getting towards the end of Luigi's Mansion again, in anticipation of Luigi's Mansion 3. So not a whole lot to say. I mean, Gears of War was really Gears of War 2 is really good so far, and it looks amazing on the One X. I'm psyched that I have this series that's I have plenty to play, and I'm just getting into it now. It's like a fun way to play a certain series, I think.
It's funny because I think I did beat the first game.
Oh, yeah?
But I didn't find it very memorable. I played it with kids in my dorm my freshman year of college. And then I don't think I ever played the second one. And I just kind of started to think they looked dumb. I don't know.
See, I was always of the opinion that they look pretty dumb. And then Ethan and I were just like, oh yeah, let's play something. And I was like, you want to play Gears? And he was like, sure. And then, man, I got hooked. We both got hooked that night, and it was just awesome. And we just had a great time. And then we finished it the next day, and we've gotten started on Gears 2. We're pretty far into Gears 2 at this point, so it's a pretty awesome franchise. I think that it's worth giving it another try, especially. Oh, look, Tim has a Gears hat.
Yep.
Ben, I would say it's worth giving it another try, especially if you're if you give it a try with a roommate. If you played it co-op with Chris, I think you guys would have a good time.
But I played the first one co-op.
I mean, maybe it's not your thing, which is totally fine. Who knows? But yeah. I'm playing Gears 2, and I'm really liking it.
Wasn't crazy. I think I didn't really like the controls very much.
Yeah, I don't mind the controls. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
I mean, I can understand that from a standpoint. They can seem a little bit wonky at first, but the games, if you ask me, they really get a lot better once you get to Gears 2. The first one's kind of iffy at best, if you ask me personally. And then it goes a little bit back down again with 3, but it's still a lot of fun to play. So I definitely suggest at least trying to get back into it, but if you're not gonna, then I'm not gonna force you.
Fair enough.
No, I am gonna force you.
I'm all on Game Pass, so.
Yep, you have the ability to.
Yeah, well, that's a really cool thing about Game Pass is Ethan and I were like, oh yeah, let's try out Gears. And I pulled up Game Pass and I started to download it, and I was like, maybe, possibly, Ethan and I will get into it and we'll want to play the second one. So I like just downloaded them all. I downloaded 1 through 4, and it's like, that's fucking amazing that Game Pass can let me do that. It's like, here's this series that, am I going to get into it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But like, I'm just going to download them all just in case I do. What's the worst that can happen? I don't get into it and I delete them. So Gears is definitely demonstrating the value of Game Pass to me. But anyways, now it's time for the news it now. Oh man, I guess Ben doesn't sing anymore, so here's the jingle.
Oh, it's the news show. It's the news show. We are now a news show, so we bring you news. I was waiting for it.
Still don't hear it.
No, you guys won't hear it, but I heard it. Anyways,
Lame.
now it's time for the news it now. Luigi's Mansion 3 was originally announced in late 2018 as a 2019 release. We've seen several trailers, and we even saw the game at E3, right? So just based off what we saw at E3 and what we've seen previously, how are you guys feeling about Luigi's Mansion 3 so far?
I think it's going to probably come out around the same time that Smash Bros. Came out last year.
You think so? November?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're jumping the gun on my questions a little bit, but that's fine. I disagree with you, but Tim, I want to get your take too.
I think it looks really good so far. The multiplayer aspect looks much improved from what they had in Dark Moon, which is definitely a plus.
Oh, yeah.
I do like the new slam ability.
So it's going to be so satisfying.
It really is. But yeah, I mean, it looks good, and it looks like it's set for launch this year. I don't see anything that could really cause any major issues. It looked like it was running optimally,
well.
at least from what we saw at E3. So I'm
Well,
excited.
didn't they have a floor demo?
Yeah, people played it.
Yep.
Yeah, so that, like, to me, that suggests that it's fucking
Ready.
yeah.
I agree. So I think that it's in this weird spot because the senior product marketing manager at Nintendo, Bill Trinan, said that next level game, the developing studio, is, quote, putting a lot of care into the game. We want to let them put the care into it that they want, so we're waiting on them to let us know, then we'll solidify the release date. So it still doesn't have a release date. And Ben, you're predicting November. I think it's a late October game.
Honestly, I personally would put it more towards December.
Really?
Well, I bet it launches with the new Switch, the Mini, which will probably be out for the holiday season.
So if the Switch Mini is coming out if it launches with the Switch Mini, I think that's a reasonable guess. November. Because I think December would be too late, October would be too early.
My biggest thing with that is Pokemon Sword and Shield is coming out November 15th.
Yes.
I don't think they'd want two big releases like that close together.
I agree.
When did the other Pokemon come out? Oh, well, actually, no, never mind. I'd say that Pokemon Sword and Shield would be a better launch component, like to
for the new Switch.
Launch so then October would make more sense. Actually, I'll buy that.
Yeah, and I think that
Sword and Shield being on the more mobile Switch would be a big deal.
Big selling point.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I think that it's ghosts, it's a haunted hotel, it's a little bit spooky. I think they want to sneak that out just before Halloween.
Yeah, I can see that.
Capitalize on that Halloween season.
It's very possible.
So, Tim, I know that you played Dark Moon, and if I recall correctly, you really liked it. So, Ben, I think that you're really the only one that's left up in the air on this. Do you think you're going to pick this game up?
Yeah, I imagine so. I always want more things to play on Switch.
That's true. And I think that we're all pretty much in agreement that it's coming out Tim, you said December. Why do you think December?
Well, you mentioned that they wanted to wait until they got the okay from
the developer.
And like, it may look fine on the E3 show floor, but that might be an early dev build. We don't know what they've added since then, if there has been anything, if they've run into any hiccups. So I don't know. I'm expecting the worst, because it just seems like that's what's been happening with Nintendo lately. Everything keeps getting pushed back.
So I think that the worst would be a delay to 2020.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you think that is a possibility at all?
I mean, if Animal Crossing is any clue, then yeah, I do. It's very possible. Especially what they did with that and what they did with Metroid Prime 4 by completely getting rid of the project and starting from the ground up.
Prime 4, that's still a punch in the gut.
Yup.
But then if they pushed it, I don't think they're going to push it, just to be clear.
They need some wins, man. They need some wins.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they push it, what do they have this fall? I mean, they've got Pokemon, and that's it.
I mean, do you need more than that as Nintendo?
I guess not. I think that Pokemon and Luigi's Mansion could be their big 1-2 punch. And that seems to have worked for the Switch so far. In 2017, they had that 1-2 punch of Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. And in 2018, they had, Pokemon and Smash. And in 2019, Luigi's Mansion and Pokemon. They definitely, I think that those, like, pairing really big games to a year is a pretty winning strategy for them so far.
Yeah.
So
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. So hopefully, I'm really excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. I think it looks fucking awesome. But moving on to a game that I know we're all excited for, Santa Monica Studios, Sony Santa Monica, has posted several job listings recently. And one of these listings explicitly states that applicants, quote, must have knowledge of God of War 2018 and be able to speak in depth about the combat systems, mechanics, and enemies. Now, I think that it's a given. We're all in agreement that God of War 5 is coming, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When do you guys see God of War launching?
God of War 5, it's going to launch with the PS5. I don't see it going any other way. Unless it's so early in development that it's not even going to make it out in time.
I was going to say, I think that's pretty soon.
Yeah, I think it'll be after the launch of the PS5. I imagine it'll probably be like, maybe if we're expecting the PS5 to come out,
let's say holiday 2020.
Holiday 2020, I would guess that this would be spring 2021.
Oh, I think that's even pretty soon. I think I see God of War 5 being like a year 2, maybe even a year 3 PS5 thing. But since you guys are predicting much more aggressively, do you guys see this being possibly a cross-generational game?
I mean, if they do get it out that fast, I could easily see them doing cross-generation. I mean, they already have the engine and everything from
right.
I almost said Gears 4. No,
God
of War 4. So they could easily just just add the assets to it. It wouldn't be that.
Yeah, no, it's
perplexing or difficult. So
yeah, they built everything, and Cory Barlog was very forthcoming about the fact that they built everything from the ground up so that they could make the next ones faster. And so, like, God of War took a long time. I think that game was in development for 5 years.
Yeah, but then how much time was there between God of War and God of War 2?
The original God of War and then God of War 2?
Yeah.
God, I think it was 2 years.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. It was only 2-3 years, roughly.
Yeah. So, Ben, maybe you're right. Spring 2018 to spring 2021, that's 3 years.
Yeah.
Man. that's thinking about it that way. God, because God of War still seems like a fairly new game, and it's been more than a year. Thinking about it that way, I guess I'm pretty psyched because, damn, I loved God of War. Can't wait. So if imagine that it does come out in the, let's say, spring 2021, like Ben says. I really don't see how they can say no to the PS4 audience, considering there's 100 million of them. But at the same time, like, would they want to let the PS4 hardware put a limit on what the game can do?
I don't know.
I mean, they held on to the PS2 for as long as they freaking could. So
They did.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if they had a PS4.
Don't you think that part of the reason that they held on to the PS2 so long was because the PS3 did not do so well?
The PS3 performed well enough, but I think the reason they held on to the PS2 so long was because even with as well as the PS4 has sold, it's nowhere even close to the PS2. The PS2 sold like 155 million units. And so that's a fuckload of PS2s. And towards the end, the PS2 really was only selling sports games, primarily soccer games in the third world. And so that there was a market for that for sure. But like trying to get a copy of like FIFA 14 on the PS2 in North America is very difficult.
Fair enough.
And who do you guys think is going to be the villain? Just fun speculation day.
Oh, and not Gears 5. Jesus Christ, you got me thinking about Gears now. And God of War 5, I have no fucking idea. Make it actually Thor or somebody, Odin.
Ben, any ideas?
I don't necessarily see Odin, but I could definitely see it being Thor. Thor would make sense because he did kill his sons.
And they had that stinger at the end.
Yeah.
So I personally hope it's going to be Thor and Odin, because I want Freya to be the main villain of whatever the end of the trilogy is. Assuming it becomes a trilogy. But I want Freya to be like the big bad. But
go absolutely batshit insane because everyone she knows keeps dying.
Well, Tim, you didn't finish God of War, did you?
I did.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, Freya's gonna want her revenge on Kratos and Atreus. So I think that would be I think that Thor and Odin would be pretty cool. Moving on to a different major Sony exclusive though. The Last of Us Part 2 is a game that has been advertised pretty heavily as a PS4 game. And PS4, the sun is setting on the PS4. So there's not a whole lot of room left. And Ben, you and I were talking about we were talking about this in the context of when is Ghost of Tsushima going to come out, which I think is still a bigger mystery than this. But there's not a whole lot of time that's wide open for a major first-party release in the PS4's lifespan, assuming PS5 comes in holiday 2020. So
I just thought of something.
What?
The Last of Us came out right at the end of the PS3's lifespan.
It did, about 6 months before.
Boom. There's your answer.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
like May of next year?
I think The Last of Us came out in June.
I'd say 6 months before November.
Okay, so June.
No, that would be more like May.
May. All right.
Boom. Nailed it.
So in an interview on a show called Between the Sheet, the host Brian W. Foster was interviewing his longtime girlfriend and star of The Last of Us Part 2, Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie. Foster asked her when the game was coming out, and Johnson responded. She said, quote, I think it's coming out in and then she got cut off.
Who cut her off?
So the interviewer.
So her boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot of months that start with besides February.
I mean, unless she was going to say it in a different language.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the case, Tim.
Totes.
So, this kind of, I think it kind of makes sense for Last of Us Part 2. February has been kind of Sony's month to drop things lately. Days Gone was planned for February of this year. It got pushed, but it was planned for February. And then, what came out last year in February?
I mean, we got Cage 3 this year, didn't we? Or was that like end of January?
That was end of January. But that was also Square. But God of War was supposed to be February of last year. And before that, it was Horizon was February of 2017. So that spring.
So one game coming out in February.
Well, no, but like God of War and Days Gone both had release dates planned for February.
Yeah,
and
I guess that they were trying, but they didn't succeed in releasing it in February. So maybe they'll try and then they'll actually release it in May.
Maybe they'll try and they'll release it. They'll hear the podcast and they'll say, well, we need to make that Ben guy right.
Chances are that's what's going to happen.
Probably. I know Neil Druckmann, friend of the show, listens to this podcast every week.
Uh-huh.
So I think it would be interesting, but I think that hopefully they would hit that February mark, because getting pushed into May, if they even blew past April, would still be tough, because once Cyberpunk is out, that's going to be a tough market to fight. I mean, we all remember what happened when Red Dead came out. It was like, get the fuck out of that game's way.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just worried there's going to be a fucking Lubberkin in Cyberpunk, man.
Wouldn't that be funny? If there was a Lubberkin quest 3 hours into the game that Ben just couldn't beat. Oh, man.
If there is, then I won't play it.
So, all right. So, final predictions on Last of Us Part 2 release month. Ben, are you saying May?
May. Final answer.
Tim, May?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that because I really don't care either way.
Oh, yeah. You didn't like Last of Us Part 1.
I didn't. So I probably won't be playing the second.
Well, I'm gonna predict it'll be announced for February. It'll get pushed to March, and it'll be out in March. Which takes us to the topic of the show.
Topic of
the show.
Oh, nice. So this week we're going to be talking about the Avengers. There's a lot to unpack with the Avengers. First of all, how did you guys feel watching that conference, that presentation on the Avengers? There was a lot of mixed reactions. So what did you guys think?
I enjoyed it.
You did?
But I'm pretty into the Avengers.
Yeah, I would say you're more into it than most.
I liked the initial presentation. When I saw gameplay, I was kind of turned off.
So we didn't see a ton of gameplay, and it was kind of peppered in here and there throughout the presentation. But the gameplay thing is something that's very interesting. What do you guys think that this game is going to play like? because they weren't really forthcoming with that.
My understanding is that it's going to be like actually there's like there's a lot more to read about what the game is out there. I don't know if you guys read anything about it, but like what I was reading is that it's going to be able to playable online or offline. If you're playing online, you can play with up to 4 people, and you can each assume a different Avenger. But as you play with each Avenger, you'll level up. They have skill trees, so I'm assuming that it's going to be somewhat of an RPG. But so that then your Black Widow and my Black Widow wouldn't be the same because you would level yours up differently and stuff. So for certain missions, it could be more beneficial to have certain people play different Avengers and stuff like that. And so it seems like it's going to be something of kind of like beat 'em up sort of, but then there's also going to be like, obviously it's like different elements because I think there's going to be teamwork involved because of the fact that you're the Avengers and then you're on a team, and like each Avenger has sort of different skills, and they said that they're going to keep adding more Avengers too, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. So
I just want to play as Spidey. That's like all I want. So.
Okay.
Well, then get it on PlayStation.
Yeah, sadly,
I
think you're right about that
Xbox.
one.
So
I think you're right about that one.
That's an interesting thing because he's coming to Nintendo.
He's coming to a Nintendo in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but that's different, I think. I think that as soon as Sony realized that this game was going to be on multiple platforms, and I bet that they were like, we're not letting you use the Spider-Man likeness for the Xbox and any other platform except for the PlayStation 4. And like, that it's going to be the truth because of the way that the dude said it. When he said that there were going to be exclusives, he said that he specifically talked about the PS4. Like, it's
true.
It's definitely going to be Spidey is going to be a PS4 exclusive.
That wouldn't surprise me at all, actually. So,
or PlayStation exclusive, because I could see this game
coming to PS5.
Yeah,
absolutely. So what other Avengers would you guys like to see added to the roster? Because they did mention, Ben, like you said, a constantly growing roster.
Well, we saw Hank Pym, so I think we'll probably see Ant-Man. We also, I imagine we'll see Falcon. I could definitely see Clint being involved, old Hawkeye.
Yeah, there seems to be a reaction. People seem to be not real happy that Hawkeye wasn't in it from the start.
Yeah. I think it's dumb that everybody's hating on the models because they're not the fucking MCU models. It's like they can't use they weren't going to get fucking they weren't going to get those actors to come fucking be in this video game.
Right.
Not to mention, if they did, it would cost a shit ton of money.
Oh my god, way too much money
for Downey Jr. alone. So.
Exactly. So like the fact that everybody's hating, that's why everybody's hating on the character models, and it's dumb to me. Like, I mean,
I agree.
I think that people need to get over that.
I'm kind of with you because I think the character models look a little bit goofy, but I do agree that like people are overreacting to it. But do you think that maybe they painted themselves into a corner choosing to use these Avengers? Because there are so many Avengers that they could have chosen. And this is, I mean, I don't know as much about the comics as you guys do, but like, don't you think they could have chosen a different main cast that wouldn't have been so easily comparable to the movies?
I mean, they could have, but ultimately, if you don't choose like Cap kind of needs to be there.
He had to happen, yeah.
And then like also like because Tony Stark is the one who like built all of the Avengers shit, you kind of need Tony Stark too, so you need Iron Man. And then at that point, it's like, well, fuck. Like Hulk is like one of the most recognizable characters. And so I think that like there's a reason that those characters are the characters in the MCU also. Like if they had chosen like other characters, like if they had chosen Spider Woman,
Yeah.
everybody would have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why are we, why is she here? Like, why is this really obscure character here?
Yeah, like Dr. Stephen Strange. Who? What?
Well, I mean, even Doctor Strange, I could see Doctor Strange potentially eventually showing up. But
Oh no! But like if they had come
maybe
out with
not
him as
quite.
like the lead character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would have definitely been a what the fuck.
Well, and that's because, like, I mean, there's not, and also, like, you have to think about, because there are other people who have kind of led in, like, other, but, like, it's like leading other groups of the Avengers, and they do still have some of Stark's tech because they more or less steal it and stuff, but I don't know. I think it just, like, Cap and Tony are just so crucial, and that's why they were the first two movies that we got too. Well, no, I guess we got Hulk, but that they bailed on that.
Yeah, no, I actually think we got Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man 2, or was it Iron Man 2, Thor, and I think Cap was the fifth movie we got.
Really?
Yeah.
Cap was after Thor?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It was.
Really? I did not remember that.
But no, but I mean, you do raise a good point that there is no doubt that they had to bring Cap in before the first Avengers movie.
Well, yeah, and a lot of Thor stuff also ends up coming with the the Avengers too, because like a lot of the time when Thor shows up, that the Avengers have to show up because it's like this is a god showing up on the planet and the Avengers already exist. So
yeah, shit's about to go down if Thor's there.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess they could have gone with like the Fantastic Four. That could have been an interesting.
Honestly, I think that could have potentially saved them a lot of grief that they've been getting because there is no Fantastic Four in the MCU yet. And maybe Marvel prevented them from doing Fantastic Four because
I was like wondering about that myself because I'm sure Marvel is like thinking to themselves that they want to figure out their own reboot.
Yeah, they want to debut
Disney
these
at the helm.
characters.
Yeah.
Well, the last time outing was not that great, so.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't Disney at the helm. That was Fox, wasn't it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they want Kevin Feige to have his go at the Fantastic Four
Before
they're going to let
anyone else do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's their money maker because Marvel is owned by Disney.
Right, exactly. And the movies are just insanely profitable.
Well, and the movie will make infinitely more money than the game will, even though this game is probably going to make a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, a good Fantastic Four movie will make infinitely more money.
So, actually, I'm not sure it would make more like a good Fantastic Four movie alone, but the contribution to the universe and how profitable the universe is itself, I think would definitely be huge. But so going back to Ben, you mentioned you did some reading about the game. I actually did too, and it seems like it's kind of split of like there's a single player story based campaign, and then there's like the shared world like co-op online stuff. And I think that's probably the 8A stuff.
I think that the shared it's a shared co-op online campaign, basically.
Okay.
Like,
So
and I think that the A-Day stuff is still, I think that that's playable, but you just play as like one Avenger
right,
if you're playing single player.
right. So
Like, it didn't make it sound like it was different to me.
okay. I see.
From
I
what
got
I
the
was
sense that there is distinctly a single player mode and multiplayer.
Well, yes. Like, I mean, that's true, but while they're different modes, I think that they are still
The same
the
content.
same content. Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you guys think of what we saw of the story so far?
I mean, I think it's interesting, definitely.
It looks
Yeah,
very
It's an
similar
all
to
new
Civil War.
story.
it's a very interesting take to have the Avengers pretty much already broken down after years, and with Cap supposedly dead. I'm sure we'll see him at some point, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting starting point for them to go off of.
Well, and Tim, you mentioned them starting from them being in a place where they're broken down. Starting before they've even assembled is, I feel like, a pretty risky move, because like look at what happened with Justice League. And the reason I think that it worked so well in the MCU is because there were 5 movies before the first Avengers movie, and it really felt like we had earned that team up as the audience. And then, but
this is a re-team up.
That
Yeah,
no,
because they've already technically been teamed, and then shit goes down, and they completely fall apart. It's getting the band back together.
but that's the thing is,
Yeah.
like, since there hasn't been a buildup of individual games, do you think that maybe this game, like the story, could suffer from it not feeling earned?
No. I read a comic the other day, an Avengers comic the other day, where Wolverine got attacked by a guy called the Hood, and the Hood shot Wolverine's dick off. And then Wolverine ripped the dude's dick off and was like, "Yeah, mine'll grow back." And then then the Hood turned into a demon. And tried to kill Wolverine some more. It was fucking crazy. But yeah, that's, I mean, it's not like I needed a Wolverine comic to build up to that for it to have payoff, and that was just in the middle of an Avengers comic.
Okay, so Ben, going off the X-Men, do you think that that's another franchise that Disney will suppress until they've gotten their hands on it and dropped it in the MCU?
Yeah, I think so.
Tim?
I think that, yeah, Dark Phoenix is the end of it was the last we'll see of the X-Men for probably 3 to 5 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with that.
Wow. 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I think they're gonna just let it sit, and
I mean, I'm
then,
leaning more towards the 3 years than the 5. I think 5
yeah,
probably be too long. But
yeah, that's
it's
probably
gonna
too long.
be a
But
good
it's
chunk of
gonna
time.
be, and it's gonna be new, entirely different,
Cast.
and I think it's gonna be like something where, like, I could see something where, like, they just, well, but because like the problem with having the X-Men come into the current MCU is that, like, they would know that the fucking X-Men exist already.
So I actually saw a reasonable explanation for this. I'm trying to think of what it was. It had something to do with the snap and dissipation of like energy that would cause mutation. And so the X-Men actually didn't exist until after the snap.
But so then what about Xavier? And
Yeah.
so it's just like old man and a fucking
Canonically,
two old
it
men
doesn't
just
really make
get-
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but now we're just talking about the MCU.
Yeah.
But so Ben, you've been really into the comics lately, and Tim, I know that you've been into the comics for a while. Who do you guys think that might end up being a villain in this Square Enix game? Because they wouldn't do Thanos.
No, it's not going to be Thanos. It's
I
going to
mean,
be, it's going to be some kind of Earth-tied, bad guy. I can't.
Maybe the
fucking
Mandarin.
Remember the. That's possible, but I can't fucking remember. There's a specific villain from Iron Man, and I can't fucking remember his name. But he's kind of obscure, and I wouldn't be surprised if he reared his head.
Yeah, I hopefully it's the Hood.
And we get to see Wolverine rip his dick off.
Yeah, and Wolverine get his dick shot off.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of directions they could go. Overall, how do you guys feel? Like scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you guys for this game? Do you think you're going to end up playing it?
I mean, I will probably end up playing it. I would say I am around 6.
Yeah. So pretty meh.
Yeah, but I'm still into it, but yeah, I'll eventually play it. I don't know if I'll get it like right away.
Yeah. Tim?
Yeah, I'm hovering around like a 5. I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I want to see more of it before I actually commit to it. The story seems like it'll be interesting, but I want to see gameplay first before I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely playing this.
Yeah, I would say I'm at a 5 too. I'm very much just very meh about it. Nothing they showed was, I think, really remarkable. But I'm open to the idea, especially I really like the idea of Ultimate Alliance, the way it's multiplayer and the way it's like this co-op experience that you can have with a bunch of heroes all in the same spot all at once. But the way Ultimate Alliance plays just isn't for me. And so it kind of looks like maybe over time they could make this game kind of Ultimate Alliance with the gameplay that I would enjoy. So I'm open to the idea, but as it is from what we've seen right now, I'm very like, I'll see it when it comes out. But speaking of which, it's coming out on 5/15 of 2020, so it's closer than I think we thought. So
Honestly,
yeah,
I thought it would be coming a bit sooner, but
oh really?
yeah.
I mean, they announced it like 3 years ago.
Yeah, and they just showed us something at E3, so I was like, okay, probably see it early the next winter. Probably again around February, March. I think May might be a bit too long for it, but
Yeah, I think that summer is a tough time for video games. It's usually a pretty slow time, and so it's a good time to introduce those like continuous multiplayer games. And I think that may be what they're trying to capitalize on.
honestly, I'm probably gonna forget about this game until like maybe a month or two before it comes out.
Yeah, until May.
If they don't
Yeah,
have
that's probably
anything
true.
more like pressing come out on it.
Unless they release something that's like, whoa, that's the reason I want to play this game. I'm kind of with you. I'll forget about it until I start seeing ads for it on YouTube.
Yep.
Well, we'll keep our eye on this one when we start seeing ads on YouTube. Until then, I think we're all planning on forgetting about it. But that's going to take us directly into trivia, our weekly trivia challenge. So, this week's weekly trivia challenge: which American filmmaker served as writer in his 2012 collaboration with Suda51 on Lollipop Chainsaw? Was it A, Brett Ratner, B, David Ayer, C, Zack Snyder, or D, James Gunn?
Can you say all of those again?
All right, I'll read the question again. Which American filmmaker served as writer in his 2012 collaboration with Suda51 on Lollipop Chainsaw? Was it A, Brett Ratner, B, David Ayer, C, Zack Snyder, or D, James Gunn?
I have no fucking idea.
I'm going B.
David Ayer.
Final answer.
Tim?
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go D. James Gunn. I really have no fucking idea.
Ben, final answer B, David Ayer.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, final answer D, James Gunn.
Sure, because I have no idea otherwise.
Tim gets the point. Takes
Holy
him up to
shit.
5.
What? You're kidding me.
No, so James Gunn served as he was on the writing staff for Lollipop Chainsaw when working with Suda51, which is Suda51 makes some weird ass games, that's for sure.
It is indeed a great game where you can look up a girl's skirt multiple times.
Yes.
I'm sad to say I have all the achievements in that game.
All right. Tim, you know porn exists, right? Anyways, that's all we have for you guys tonight.
This is better.
If you liked
zombies.
what you heard, don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform you found us on. And don't forget to check out our website, coldnorthpro.com, for everything we do all in one spot. Once again, you can find our other podcast, our movies podcast, No Refunds, the podcast that watches bad movies so you don't have to. We recently released or are set to, it's this Thursday, Ben?
Yep. Thursday.
All right. Coming on this Thursday are the recap of season 1 of No Refunds, in which we rank all the movies that we watched in season 1, and season 2 will be starting soon. And we'll be back next week talking about whatever happens in the next 7 days. So until then, reset.
Reset.
Ben, don't you ever worry about like squirting poop on the toilet seat?
Nope, there's poop already there. I'll just add to it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just perpetuating a problem.
The problems already exist. I'm just encouraging
The
someone to fix it
janitor's
before it
fault
gets
that he
even
didn't.
worse.
Yeah, exactly. Get there sooner.